OMG, I cannot believe the story that I read about yesterday on social media. OMG.
All right, so I am on the...
So, I saw a story yesterday, and I'm going to try to find the news clipping and embed it in, but basically there is a group of teachers out in Texas who have some type of kingpin, and that's what they're calling it. Oh my God. So they're probably trying to nail them to the cross about this. But they set up a cheating ring where teachers paid $2,500 to have somebody else go and take the teacher test for them. This is almost comparable to Atlanta Public Schools cheating scandal, but not quite.
It's crazy. Crazy. I don't know what to say about that.
In my class, everyone was like gathered up, reading it off one phone. Everyone was surprised. And then I guess they just went around the school telling everybody.
This morning, 5 people charged in a $1 million cheating scheme where uncertified teachers paid to get a job at districts across the state. Harris County DA Kim Ogg says these teachers would pay Booker T. Washington High School head basketball coach Vincent Grayson a couple $1,000s, which he would then give a percentage of that money to a certifying official at the Houston Training and Education Center. Teachers from across the state would drive hours to Houston after failing to pass their certification tests at least once. They'd then show up to the testing center, show their ID and sign in, but then leave. That's when prosecutors say Booker T. Washington High School assistant principal Nicholas Newton would sit in their seat and take the test for them, and the result would show they'd passed with flying colors. Investigators estimate he took more than 400 certification tests, fraudulently impersonating at least 200 teachers and collecting a cut of the money. Ogg says the investigation began after a Good Samaritan brought this scheme to light.
First of all, I can't believe people are so bold. People do some stuff, but that's some bold stuff, right? However, I feel like still not to dismiss this at all, but I feel like this is yet another indication of why there needs to be some type of educational reform that goes forth. Because these people only capitalize right, wrong, or indifference. They basically were solving issues, because I think one of the communities that I was reading about the story in, someone was like, well, yeah, they can't find anybody else to work. Matter of fact, that same district, I think they said they had over 1,000 teachers who were not certified. And so, again, bail problem. And so you just had people who were able to come in and meet this need. And matter of fact, they said it was like $1 million. They may have used the word multi-million-dollar cheating scam. So basically it was a coach and then 2 assistant principals, and basically I guess somebody else who will actually maybe over the testing center, or they were the supervisors or whatever that was, but they would just turn a blind eye when the assistant principal would come in to take the test for, I guess, whatever teacher that actually paid the $2,500. And again, somebody was like, oh, and the kids are going to be the ones that is hurt by it. Well, see, we're going to make this out of a big deal as if this is the only thing that hurts students. No, let's be real. Students are already being hurt because there's already over 1,000 teachers in that district working without certification, right? And let me also add that I don't believe certification validates your teaching ability, right? I mean, it proves that you achieve some level where at the base minimum, somebody can trust that you can do whatever. But I've absolutely know so many teachers who had a very difficult time passing the teacher test, and they're amazing teachers. Even myself, I did not pass the math portion right off. And to be honest, I took it again. The score was not it was failing, but by that time I had taken again, they had also instituted a policy where the score could be cumulative. So by the time they added my language arts, reading and writing scores with the math score, I met the cumulative average or whatever. And then that was strange to me because math was never really an issue. I had to work harder in the language arts. But anyway, neither here nor there. If I can toot my own horn, y'all hear the train. I am an amazing teacher. I would have been the same amazing teacher without the certification. And I have actually hired certified teachers and non-certified teachers. And the best teacher that I've ever worked with in this journey of running my micro school was absolutely a non-certified teacher. And baby, she wasn't even a teacher major, okay? And when I tell you the level of compassion, empathy, and I am gonna learn the skills I need to teach my students were a person, she would be it. So matter of fact, I probably need to send her this video and be like, I miss you. Okay. But I do miss her. We were broken apart during COVID. But she has moved on to bigger and better things, and I am really, really excited for her. So, but anyway, yeah, this is crazy. I hate the fact that teachers' careers are getting ready to be ruined because they said that anybody that they were able to confirm got their certification this way would be unemployed immediately. And I'm positive that they are going to prosecute the people that they feel like is the leader of all of this. I just feel like more than being outraged on what they did, I think the district needs to be outraged, period. Education, period, needs to be outraged that this is where we find ourselves. Like, we find ourselves not being able to fill classrooms. We find ourselves still putting tons of brand new teachers in buildings, not having a balance of teachers who are new, who are well experienced, and those, you know, who are in the middle of the range. And all of that is so important, because even though I am a great teacher, I didn't start out as the great teacher. Like, there's so many things that I've learned year after year after year that if I could go back now to that young girl who started when she was like, 23 or however old I was, like, it would be like so much different, right? And so we're fooling ourselves if we don't think that students having like all new teachers isn't hurting them, because it is. And that's due to no fault of the teacher, right? Because, like, I mean, we all start somewhere. We are being delusional if we act as if having these long-term subs in teachers' classroom isn't hurting our students. We are being deceived if we're acting as if we can really make it work with one teacher choosing to sub on her planning period. Like, these kids are not getting what they need across the board. And at some point, it's all like the lid is going to be blown off at some point. Like, parents, and that's a whole nother level. I'm not blaming them, but they really have to wake up and be aware of their specific child. Again, we used to look somewhat similar, but kids are all over the place. They're all over the place with what they know. They're all over the place with what they're able to tolerate, you know. And it's just, school is just not the same anymore. And that's why I feel also the homeschooling movement is getting bigger. It's getting bigger in the Black community. However, what I also realize, and not to disparage homeschooling, right? Again, I am for parents doing what they need to do for the betterment of their child. But just like public schools isn't the right setting for all students, neither is homeschool. And to be honest with you, there's this other nonprofit organization that I'm working with, or that we are slowly building a relationship with, and I am helping them to do some things. Like, I came across a boy who's 13 years old, listed as a 10th grader, who had like weaknesses so severe in like phonics. Like, I still need to see more of his profile, but I was sent information that said with phonetic awareness, he was like at the first grade level. 13 in the 10th grade. And so I asked her, I was like, is this right? How do you become 13 in the 10th grade, first of all? And I was like, well, you guys may need to consider working with this baby a little longer. And she was like, well, like, he was homeschooled, and you know, they bring him in and I just go with what they say and we work from there. Clearly, I don't know how long he was homeschooled, but clearly, that baby didn't get everything that he needed to have gotten. And so I think that needs to be a conversation too. As well-intended as some parents are, they're not teachers. And I don't care if it is your child. Again, I'm not telling people what to do with their kid, right? But my heartbeat is for people to really understand who their child is and to know like what environments they fit into best as learners, and not the ideal of what we have in our head, because it's not it. And it's not it, again, for the most vulnerable kids. And I'm talking about a lot of the inner city kids, a lot of kids, rural areas maybe, kids who just, they're not necessarily, you know, maybe financially well off, kids who do have like certain learning challenges and so forth. But yeah, so what do you guys think? I think it's just messed up, but the situation matches education that's kind of jacked up there too. All right, sound off in the comments. Until the next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.